Welcome in to Big Z Sports. Next stop at two-a-days brings us down to West L.A. Chris Kail, Joe Geckler here with you, Big Z Sports. And, man, when you talk about Ridgewood, you talk about another one of those perennial coaches that just absolutely gets it done year in, year out. They continue to reload, not rebuild. And, they only lost a few seniors last year, a couple key pieces. But overall, bring back a lot of skill players, bring back their quarterback, and we'll see what happens with the Ridgewood Generals this year. But I think big things are in store.
We've always talked about it, Chris. Me and you've been doing this for, our 11th season together. And we've always talked about programs in the area and those tenured coaches. Well, Coach John Slusser is one of those tenured coaches that we always talk about. In his 20th season, we have several coaches that have been around for 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and have built programs. And that's what Coach John Slusser has done here in West Lafayette for the Ridgewood Generals. And, some years we're going to be terrible. We've heard it all the time. We're going to be 5-5. We're going to be lucky to win a game. Well, guess what? They finish 8-2 or 9-1 or 11-1 and losing a playoff. That's just what Coach does. Motivation. Motivates these young men out here to play football for him. And I think Coach John Slusser is one of the best coaches in the area, has a great staff, has a great program, and he keeps building it year after year.
Yeah, 8-3 last year, lost to number 2 seed South Range in the playoffs. And, coming into the year with what they lost in 2022, you would have said, maybe a 6-4 year, 7-3 year. Now they turn around, get a playoff win, and, finish pretty good in the IVC. Only a couple losses there, obviously, to Garraway was the big one in Week 10. But, Ridgewood just continues to reload, and we're going to check in with John Slusser here and find out what he has to say.
Welcome into Big Z Sports 2-a-day coverage. I'm Joe Geckler down here in West Lafayette and joined by the head coach of the Ridgewood Generals, John Slusser. Coach, year number 20. Hard to believe. We've been around for the last 10 years of that, and thanks so much for letting us come down and hang out at practice. So we enjoy talking with you, and I think we've been here for an hour, and we've just been talking off camera for the whole time. And Coach, last season, let's go back and rewind a little bit. Talk about your 8-3 year. You were 3-2 in the IVC. You fell to number 2 South Range in the playoffs. But a very tough region you were in Division 5. We all know about that region. Very, very tough. But let's talk about your season a little bit last year. Had some good wins, had some tough losses, but all in all, a successful season.
First of all, thanks for coming down. I always enjoy you guys coming around. And I'm going to sneeze through the whole interview.
You don't have COVID yet, do you?
No, my allergies are killing me today, so I'm going to sneeze the whole time. But I was just talking to somebody the other day about last year, and I've told them this, and I'll tell you the same thing. Probably one of my most rewarding years that I've been here. I thought our coaching staff, thought our kids just did a tremendous job. We had 6 seniors last year. Through those years, I don't think they had much success in any sport. And for us to come out and do what we did last year was truly amazing. Those guys just gelled. The senior that we only had 6, but they were good kids. Really bought into Ridgewood football. If you would have told me we'd be 8-4, I would have said, come on. I thought we'd be lucky to be 500, and they way exceeded that. And
Coach, you could have Gabe Tingle and think you're going to be 500.
Listen,
That's what you used to tell us.
I thought it was our best year. I thought it was the best year that our staff did and getting the most out of the kids. The 4 games we lost to West Branch was our first loss here. I think they were 9-1 in Division 4.
Yeah.
And we had them down to the last possession of the game. Yeah. They scored with like 20 seconds left to beat us. We lost to Indian Valley, who was pretty good last year.
Really good.
We lost to Garraway, who was pretty good.
Really good, yep.
And we lost to South Range, a defending state champ.
Again, really good.
So, I never thought we would even be in those games. And our kids just did such a great job. So, we're trying to build on that. When you only have 6 seniors one year, you should be better the next year unless you don't do a very good job coaching. So it's up to us to get a little bit out of them.
Yeah, some guys you have coming back in 2024, Grant Lammers, Aiden Sparger, Matt Humphrey, Jason McQueen, Talon Carnes, Gabe Lamnick, Jackson Cabot, to name a few. You did have a few key losses, as you mentioned, Mason Colvin, Dylan Austin, Eli Stroup. So, you look at some of your losses. You mentioned the 6 seniors, really only the kids you lost, but you have some talent coming back to West Lafayette.
We do. we're real excited with the group we've had and what we've been doing at practice. We think we're pretty skilled. I think all schools go through this, but we're thin up front. We're worried about our depth up front. But I tell my coaches this all the time. They're like, "Wait, this?" I'm like, "I've been doing this for 30 years. Counting my assistant years, and there's never a good year to lose good players,
Sure.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Losing people always hurts, but our kids have been great. They've shown up where they're supposed to be. They have a little excitement to them, and like I said, a lot of them got experience last year. So we return a lot of guys. Hopefully we can take a next step and be a little bit more competitive this year with some of those other teams. We're excited to get it going.
Absolutely. Looking at the schedule, the first half of the schedule, let's look at weeks 1 through 5. You have at Coshocton. You have Riverview right here in West Lafayette. You go to Carrollton. You have Utica and Strasburg at home as well. And to wrap up the first half of the season to get ready for that gauntlet of the IVC South, talk about the first half of your schedule.
I've probably said this too much, but it's funny how things change from when I took this job in 2004 to where we're at in 2024. When I took this job in 2004, I think we played 2 schools on our schedules that were bigger than us, and that being Coshocton and Riverview. Now fast forward 20 years, we play 2 schools that are smaller than us, one being Strasburg,
Yeah.
the other being Garaway, which I think is 3 boys difference than us.
I think they're actually technically bigger than you.
Well, with open enrollment,
yeah,
yes.
for sure.
But actual enrollment, I think we're like 3 boys apart.
Okay.
So, we've always been almost the exact same size, hence makes such a great rivalry and a great game. But now we play 8 schools that are bigger than us on our schedule. That part's become more challenging and a lot tougher. Our school keeps getting smaller, but we keep having to schedule a little bit bigger school, So it gets unfair sometimes for my kids to go compete against them, because most schools, if they had to play schools 2 divisions bigger, with the program that Carrollton has, with the program that Coshocton has, with the program that Utica has, Indian Valley, it's tough on your kids. But so far we've been able to hold up to it, and I'm hoping we can do it again this year.
The second half of the schedule, you get into that gauntlet of the IVC South, as we talked about. You have Tusky Valley. You travel to Sandy Valley. You have Indian Valley and Claymont back-to-back weeks here in West Lafayette. And then you travel up 93 and go to Sugar Creek to take on the Pirates in that rivalry game, Week 10. And, Coach, every year it seems like the IVC South gets stronger and stronger.
It's such a good league. It's funny because people used to always tell me that the IVC was more of a basketball league or baseball. I would say that anybody would have a hard time comparing our football league, the top half, to anybody else around the state. Garaway's been in the playoffs. They've been making runs. They're in the Final Four last year. We've had a pretty successful run in the playoffs and winning games. Indian Valley's just coming on like gangbusters the last few years as far as playoffs go and winning games. And I know this. Claymont has people coming. I've seen their younger groups. We were talking about that before. Sandy Valley's been good. Last year, we were lucky to get out of Tusky Valley with a win. We were down halftime. So it's like you said, you got to be ready to play each week, and it's turned into a really good football league.
And your seniors this year, they get 6 home games, Coach. Not many schools they have 6 home games for their seniors. How special is that for a program to get your seniors 6 home games on the field that they're the most familiar with?
I think it's awesome. I'm old, so I don't like riding the bus anymore. So that
you drive
becomes
separate.
A
You have a
problem.
chauffeur, don't you?
No, I sit right on the front.
You drive the bus, don't you?
I do not. I can't see well enough. They don't let me drive. But, I enjoy playing at home. I know our kids do. We've got such a great atmosphere here. When you come to Ridgewood and play, it's a pretty cool place.
It is, and I know Big Z Sports, we're going to have you at least 3 times this year. Week number 8, week number 9, and for the first time ever, week number 10 up at Garaway on the radio, video stream, the rivalry week. We're going to have you 3 straight weeks. Going to be a lot of fun to see some Ridgewood football this year, and it's always fun to be around you and the program and to see what you're doing and how you're succeeding and how you're growing the program. And Coach, every year it seems like programs and coaches come up with themes or, a motto for the season. Does Ridgewood have one this year?
We do not.
No?
I don't know that we've ever had one. I guess it would be beat Garraway. I don't know. No, I don't know. We don't really have a motto. We just try to get better every day. I'm not clever enough to think up different things. Right now our main focus is trying to beat Coshocton week 1. That's been our goal. They're going to be really good. It's a game in the area that people like. So that's been our main focus. Everything we've done, really.
Here's a couple mottos you can go. Get better every day or
right?
Week by week. Which one do you want to go with?
All those are good. All those are good.
Well, Coach, thanks so much, man, for having us down here to West LA, and we love coming down, chatting with you and the coaches, and seeing what you're doing down here. And the access you've given us the last 10 years has been unbelievable, and we appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you here in the season, and wish you all nothing but the best.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That's Coach John Slusser joining us here on our two-a-days.
Chris Kail, Joe Geckler here with you, and
Coach
Joe.
Awesome, man.
Joe, coach is pretty cool.
He's so freaking fun to watch and just talk to. And I think we talk to him more off the camera than we do on the camera. But
yeah, we've been here for like 4 hours.
We have. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon now. We got here at 8, so we had lunch with them. They took a break. No, not that.
We got
bad.
a Michi's Pizza.
Yeah, for sure. And
we didn't bring the Denny Dome, or we would have been here longer
for sure. But Coach is excited about this year. He's got some skill coming back. I know he's excited about that. Maybe a little concerned with up front, maybe a little bit defensive, offensive as well. But he feels their skills really good, and it's going to be a fun year for the Ridgewood Generals. I know we'll see them 3 weeks in a row with Indian Valley, Claymont, and up on the hill in Sugar Creek with Garraway week 10. So 3 weeks in a row to see Ridgewood. That's really when you want to see teams like this. Is they're almost through the end of the season. How have they improved? How have they gotten better from week 1?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. You look at the Carrollton game in week 3. That's intriguing to see what happens there. And then like you said, week 7, 8, 9, 10 doesn't get any easier when you get into the meat of the IVC. But you bring back Grant Lammers, your signal caller. He's a senior this year. You bring him back. Aiden Sparger, your running back. They end up moving Matt Humphrey out to the wide receiver position. He played a little wide receiver, a little, more of a kind of a wildcat kid last year, or taking some of the jet sweeps. But you've got him out there. You bring in a Bryce Tolliver, Jace McQueen on the outside as well, who can play a little bit of quarterback, so we know he's skilled. They got a lot of skill down here. Numbers are still good, in the high 50s here at Ridgewood, and yeah, we're looking for big things out of the Generals.
A new division for them as well. They dropped down to Division 6, same region and division that Garraway was in last year. Garraway went back up to Division 5, and so they just flip-flopped their districts and their divisions and their regions. So going to be an interesting run this year for Ridgewood. Excited to see how it's going to play out.
All right, that's going to do it for this stop. Chris Kail, Joe Geckler here with you, Ridgewood Generals, and we thank John Slusser and his staff for allowing us the accessibility that he does, and all of our area coaches. We'll see you at the next stop.